What's up, guys? The game is now unfrozen and it is time to go over all of the Saint West crew. Should be pretty easy to do. So what we're gonna do, is there a quick way to like isolate all these characters? That'd be fantastic, but there really isn't. So we're gonna go from general to the other two after that. I think that's the best way to do it. I will try to remember, half the time that I make the chapters or the timestamps, I just forget to put them in, but I will try to remember to put them in so you guys can skip around. But why would you want to skip around? Why don't you watch the whole video? Give me some views and all that lovely good stuff. So if you want to know how these characters are gonna rank, in my opinion, all you gotta do is sit on by. So without further ado, skidamarinky think you do. Let's get into it. Alright, so let's start off with Carrie, and it looks like the attack is 1302, and that's about good, because how much is she? 1302. Like I said in my other video.
Then I shall promise you victory.
Oh yay, thank you. She had to have similar attack. Listen to the boy. You think just because I don't go up into the masters, dasters, whatever the fuck tiers, that I don't know what I'm talking about, I just don't want to spend that much on the game. She has to have a decent amount of attack. She has to have very high attack in order for her passives to work. What else she working with? Her speed is low, damn it. Crit hit is 150, not that bad. Hit 90. She probably has identical stats. I'm almost certain that they probably did a copy pasta on Bathory. Let's see it.
Easy opponent.
Take a look.
Easy opponent.
Sir.
Easy opponent. Easy opponent.
She's Bathory. That's actually really bad. Well, bad in terms of like originality, but yes, they pretty much copy Bathory, so they really want you to get off her effects and stuff like that. Also, this is gonna be my first time looking at any of these animations. 4.9, these guys are fucking insane. They love her. So we already know about this. So menu utilization, of course, we're gonna go. Yeah, let's just let's go into the. No, not there. We will go into that. No, that's actually the correct button. Well, she's a warrior, so she does get the. You guys already know resets if her mana is under. Well, we'll definitely keep that into consideration. And what is this again? The game mana cell. She has mana utilization. Don't
you think your head is held up too high?
No, I mean, I do say a little cocky things from now and then, but hey, you know what I'm saying. So she's actually 40. Didn't she die? Like, did she get revived or something? Whatever, I don't care. All right, so it is what it is. She is a wizard. She's a wizard. Well, she did like come out of the roses and thorns and stuff like that. So let's quickly go over. Let's see the basic attack. What's up? That the ending effect is crazy. What are these? Does she carry and sperm, or like they're probably like seeds, but that actually is a little bit tilting for me, like tilting in the right direction, because I love nature-based characters, like actual nature, like when they manipulate trees and stuff like that. So like, yes, the first Hokage in Naruto, whatever the guy is in Yu Yu Hakusho. Or yeah, even I forgot the guy that has like, I love that stuff. Poison Ivy from Batman. So these are probably like seeds or something like that. And then we got the passive here, Bramble. So that's what makes sense. So she's dealing with nature, so Bramble makes sense. That's why she comes out the rose. Maybe she was preserving herself, no idea. So since her attack is high, she will be definitely affecting a lot of people with the Bramble, which is going to halt their regeneration based on how many are under it. So you're definitely going to have to invest hard into her, which it makes a lot of sense, as far as that. And this one is still kind of weird to me. Decreases the health of target by 3% for 10 rounds when the target has a Bramble mark, can be stacked. So I just don't know, like, I guess maybe she resets this per round. We'll have to definitely have to check that out. It's gonna be hard to check it out now because obviously mine is like level 1 and I would need a lot to invest, and I have to still look at all of them to see which one is the best to invest in. But you still have to invest into her first, before the other two even become a contention with the Bramble passive. But since she is, though, she's going to be on the same level as Tranquil. Now, as far as being meta, I think that I was actually going to do a video on this, like 2 other videos on Exos, during the dead times. I was thinking, like, I know that this update was going to come, but I really wanted to touch on what makes a unit meta. And what makes a unit meta would have to be if they can take one of the 5 spots, and that's the 5 spots in a standard PvP comp, not including tag, obviously. And tag, a lot more stuff is viable because you can only have, you have 15 spots instead. So could she take a 5 spot in the fact that Currently, no, I don't think so, because you know, she needs more synergies with her stuff. There's a lot more synergies with Tranquil. There's, you know, outside of, you know, Rara and Ulum, but the fact of certain characters not dying and stuff like that, there's a lot of synergy to that. Now, her synergy is that she's pretty much stopping health regen. So there's not much synergies to that. It just depends on what you're fighting on the other team. And I feel like right now there are healers in the meta, but they're not necessarily there just, you know, like as a main healer. It's kind of hard to explain, but as far as like, you know, when you put Talia in there, you're putting her in there to be as annoying as possible. If she doesn't heal as much, is her passives, like the reversions and all the other stuff, still trigger. And you know, like that's kind of like why she's there. And same thing with April, you know, she still can silence you and stuff like that. So how bad or how crazy Bramble is gonna take a little bit of testing to see that, but she absolutely counters Dorka. You know, Dorka is probably her biggest thing, but Dorka is by herself a good unit, just a solid of a bitch unit, but you know, there's no synergies around Dorka. Dorka's just in a comp. If you have a strong one, you're gonna put her in there. She makes your team take less magic damage and heals them over time. I think that's the big thing. So she will stop Dorka because she has way more base attack than Dorka does. So you might see Dorka maybe slide out of the meta a little bit, because the only best thing about Dorka in a higher elo is the fact that if you unleash potential her, you can bind a couple characters, and depending on the situation, a couple of characters won't get mana and they can't use their skills on their first turn, and that's about it, which is not that great of a thing to have, if we're being honest here. So she can get Dorka out the meta and then Dorka's spot will be replaced by someone, but will it be replaced by her? Because she was threatening. There's a whole thing about threatening. Do you want to keep losing because you picking Dorka and now she's popular, then you have to take Dorka out of your team comp? So can she threaten that enough? It's definitely going to come down to the Rosa Multifrola. If you're losing, like if all the enemy team is constantly over and over losing 3% of their health over and over and over again, that would be crazy. It just depends on how much this takes. It says for 10 turns, so I'm assuming it doesn't keep stacking per turn. Hey, I know I'm talking a lot, but stop. So it's just really big on that. So I wanted to definitely talk about that. Sorry. Next up is the Thorns of Havoc. Is an AoE and it also puts Nullify Heal, which seems like a little bit overkill, but what it does do is that it gives you a Nullify Heal that's completely irrespective of Frankie. So you can literally do this on a target. It's going to land, it's going to hit. It does not have anything to do with anything, and if you cannot land Bramble, at least you have a way of stopping healing in general. So I do like that. Let's look at the Thorns of Chaos, or Havoc, sorry. Ooh. Ooh. Ooh, that look! Yes. Yes, the look. Was she in the... Oh, no, she's... I'm the master of this world. Okay, calm down, baby girl. But that look is the same thing that the look from FC Shell. That's like, man, if you don't... This is obviously a thing. If these animations are not even better, but at least on par with Dorka and the Cruise, then I will switch them. As you notice, I didn't do it for Vagabonds, but Dorka's and the Cruise animations were absolutely retarded. They were crazy, to say the least, so I definitely want to switch them. So, and then we got the Nova Rose, which is a nuke, burst nuke, so this one should be pretty spicy. It's supposed to kill things outright, so let's see it. Ooh. Walk through it. Ooh, the booty shot. Another look. They know that the facial look is crazy. And she's just standing there. Love the animation, as you guys know, or maybe you don't. I'm a big fan of nature, so her manipulating trees and thorns and stuff like that is a big thing for me. I wish I would have got more than one copy of her. That's all I'm saying. She looks like she would be a character that I would heavily invest in, just because I think her animations are cool, even though they'll be sped up to absolute hell. But also, well, before I even go back into that, let me just finish this off. Is that this is 2 mana, right? So if you were to lead off with this, the odds of your unleashed potential will be there, right? So you'll be able to do this and then do something else afterwards. If you do have 2 and then, you know, more than... Oh, stop it! Now I gotta wait it out. I'm not gonna show it to you guys twice. I'm gonna watch it twice though. So yeah, she just needs about 4 mana to do that. So if you know, I mean, yes, you lose some of the damage out there, but as far as like turn resetting, you know, turn manipulation and stuff like that, doing something using 2 turns and then killing off a target is pretty good. Especially depending on how her passive works, as far as like if it goes by per turn and stuff like that. I definitely think that there's a typo on her passive, but I'm not gonna hint too hard on it if that's if that makes any sense. So let's look at the boy. Of course, we're gonna start off with the stats. So I'm assuming, wow, he's slow. I would have thought he was fast, and you know, because he's you know, a rapier user, you know. I'm pretty sure that's one of his skills, is, you know, tap 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 tap. All right, so he's also a warrior, so we're gonna have the whole reset skill thing, which is gonna be interesting because, oh wait, is this gonna be the first warrior with a, I remember I was talking about this when I did the Unleashed Potential. I was like, there is currently not a warrior with a support skill. So I'm now very curious to see how this works. So we have pretty much the same dodge hit, 90, 100 dodge, 150 crit, 30, 55. So they're about the same speed, which is kind of weird. Attack is 1300, which is awesome. And again, it doesn't matter as far as with Carrie because it's about the enemy team, so at least it's synergized. But having 2 high attacks again is going to make it hard for characters like Bathory to put you under Tranquil, like, because if you are building them, and same thing with like my issue with Janai is that she's never under Tranquil, she's never under Dorka, so you have to be careful when you're building off these units. But it's 3.9, Dan. They slotted the boy. They slotted the. I could look at the comments, but I'm pretty sure they're all weird. All right, so let's go over into Hero Story. This character, yeah, 22. I'm assuming has to be a little bit young the way that these. I seen the son of Carrie, man, is raising this boy wrong. He's wearing too much flashy dashy, man. Put you on a jacket, okay? Just kidding. All right, so I mean the jacket would help it out, but yeah, see that's a rapier kind of stance, and this is definitely that. So let's look at the basic attack. That is, I don't know. That's, he's not using it like a specific rapier, but I guess they do slash like that sometimes. And he also has mana utilization, no other spice on top of it though. And then we're gonna go with this. So this is going to be, I feel like, the first warrior with a support skill. I mean, it's probably maybe somewhere deep in the below legendaries that has it. So let's look at the tree of protection, which I'm assuming if there's the son of Carrie that he also has some type of.
This is an order as the Prince of Saint West.
Okay.
Everyone, follow me.
That would look better if there was people around there. Like April's move, her heal actually looks cooler because all your teammates are in the back, but you don't see it here in the journal. I mean, it looks okay, I guess. But we already know it gives a percentage of his attack and crit, not his percentage of his crit, percentage of his attack and additional crit hit to the allies for a decent amount of turns. The attack turn is kind of low, and him being slow is kind of a issue, and that was kind of my issue, is him as a buffer. So I can see why people put him low. A buffer that's slow is stupid. I mean, you could run a slower comp, but you're foregoing the enemy, like letting them go turn, like get extra turns. You have to have a decent amount of defensive capability to do that. As far as like, you know, Tantalo and FC Talia for the free defensing, like the free defense, you need a lot to do that to say, hey, you guys go first, go ahead. But since there's no live PvP, there's no RTA. So as far as letting them go first is not the worst thing in the world. There's not that much high damaging insta kill moves that enemy AI is going to use. The worst you have to deal with is Rara, and she's only going to kill one person at a time. So there's ways to mitigate that. The problem is that even if you do eventually get this buff off, you let them take all their turns, their next turns are going to be stronger, and all you did was give an attack and crit hit to your team. So I'm not too big of a fan of that. Then he has this move, which is the Emerald Sword, which is decrease the block value. And this was another issue that I had. Does this decrease the block value before or after the hit? It would make sense that it would do it before it. So this big, huge burst skill does not get blocked. I think that's the whole purpose behind it. But if it works the other way, his rating should be even lower. But maybe the animation makes up for it.
I stay weak.
Okay. Woo! Okay. Set it up.
I'm the Prince of Saint West.
I liked it. It was too slow though. It took too long. I think they could have spent less time with the whole sword up. It's like, oh, it's going to drop. I think the whole aspect of like keeping you on your toes, and you really don't know what's gonna happen. Like it did kind of do that, but then once the sword formed and kind of stood there for, it's like, oh, it's gonna drop, obviously. Either it would have been cooler if he like teleported to it and then brought it down. I guess that would have been kind of crazy. But it was just took a little bit too long for my taste. But he's okay. He's definitely needs a fake core, I think. Also, depending on how his defense thing works. The block value thing works. Definitely need to see that. And he needs a haircut. So, so what happens when so what do you get here? Oh, so there is no difference. So resets turn 1 time per round if own mana is under 3 after the skill hits. But does that count as it hitting your allies as well? I feel like this was lazy because, like I said, there was no support version that a warrior had. Every warrior, from what I saw, pretty much had 2 attack skills. Next up, Donk. The Donk is for Donk, ladies and gentlemen. Let's look at these base stats. So he's actually faster than them. Let a man do it. Get out the way. Has higher hit, same amount of dodge, lower crit, obviously, and has a little bit of block. I'm pretty sure he's probably identical to like Zion. I'm pretty sure if I were to get him, and a lot of these characters mirror each other, right? See, Valar, he's very similar to Valar, and I'm pretty sure if I find that, probably the same as him, right? Yeah, he has 1 more speed though, so a little bit difference, but so he actually has some speed to him. Speedy old man. I don't know why they like doing that, but whatever. So let's go into here. So he does have the thrust, a little bit different here. And what's cool about him is that the unleashed potential actually will somewhat work in his favor a little bit, I think. So let's go in. Let's see. So first of all, how old is he? I'm assuming older, 53. So 53 with a 40-year-old? Hey, do your thing, old man. Hey, hey, my man Donk. Let's look at this auto attack. What? No. This guy is too gangster. He doesn't even attack himself. Oh, I hope all his animations he doesn't attack. That'd just be gangster. All right, so he does have the thrust 3. You attack him, he's gonna stun you back. He gains mana depending on health, but he also steals mana if they are low on health, which I do like that. There's some synergies with that. Some cool weird stuff that you could do with that. And then here we have the Decoration of Victory, which is a self buff. Which of course he's not attacking with that. I think when he does do this, we'll look at the unleashed potential. I think that means that he also gets another defense buff on top of that. He gets a defense buff on top of a defense buff. Yo, this guy is too much, man. Saving the best for last, it looks like. It's kind of like Valar, where he's like on the throne and he's like, but he's snobbish. But this guy doesn't seem snobbish. He seems like way more gangsta about it. Then he has the King's Army, which he, AoE hit, does a decent amount of damage, but deals additional damage equal to 200% of own defense to enemies with Bramble. Again, synergy with Carrie. So let's look at it. He doesn't move. He's so gangster. See, Valar gets off the seat and actually attacks, and stuff like that. My man literally stays exactly still the entire time. He's playing no games. I love this. This is cool. I like it because he's a true king. He has subjects below him to do his bidding. I just want to double check the unleashed potential. Is that how that always worked, or is that maybe they are actually making them different? You use this, and I said, now I reread this, and I already know someone's in the comment section like, you're an idiot, what are you talking about? That the other guy can't obviously do his S2 and the S1 because of the way that the reset works, right? If own mana is under 3, so he can't, if he has enough mana to do his S2, he's not under 3. Yeah, so he's pretty shit. I'll probably edit that whole part out, and realizing I thought he was gonna be good because I said that Nemeris would actually be able to S1 into S2, but he can't. So you would do this if you had 3 mana, but again, you can't do into this. And this one is the deals damage. What happened to the other one? That's so weird. Or actually, Chadi's a pretty good example as well. Yeah, see, like when you do unleashed potential effect, increases own defense by 6 turns by 15. Are they doing it differently for him? Because Why would he? That's not. He doesn't need that. That doesn't make sense. He has it for 8 turns, and if he uses it when he's low on mana, he gets an extra turn, but he can't do anything with the extra turn. Those are very weird unleashed potentials. And this is what I was saying before. Like if they would have changed this one to it's, you know, if O mana is under 3, so he would use this, but he wouldn't be able to do this because this is 5 mana. So that kind of makes him kind of doo-doo as well. He can't S1 into S2, which I was saying, I went on a long tangent saying how good that would actually make him. It would make him way above this 3.9, but since he can't do that, then it's kind of pointless. If anything, he could at one point S2 and then S1, but then he would still need someone else to give him a turn. And since he's so slow, you know, who's going to give him a turn after that? The only one I could think of would be if you were running FC Glenn. And then but Glenn would give it to your fastest character, then you would have, yeah, it just doesn't work. Doesn't work. It doesn't work. Unless it's some other crazy character that they're gonna have that's gonna make that make sense. So he's pretty shit. Donk is actually pretty good, and so is Carrie, but he's absolutely terrible. So I actually think that it might be best until he gets an FC. I'm gonna be donating mine into to make a get as many things for Carrie as possible. Because there's no, he doesn't make sense. He doesn't make sense as a character that you want to transcend up. You're not gonna need multiple copies of him or anything like that. So all my extra dupes are going into the scout system. Since it only takes a few of them to get Carrie, she's the cheapest one. She's the cheapest general. So each one is 500. So if you go easy 6,000 divided by 500. You know, you're only going to need 12 of these guys, and if you're summoning, I feel like you'll get a decent amount of him over time, especially if you were to nation recruit it. You definitely would get him pretty quickly, and I think that that's it. So that's MFO. YFO's in the comment section below. What do you guys think about the Saint West package? What do you think? Does it add anything up into the game? I would humbly say no. I think that the other original crew is good. Also, just mainly because the other crew has FCs and this core does not. It's the same thing with Dorka. You take the general and then you apply it to the rest of the game. Donk does have some potential because he has some speed. He has 74, so he's not super slow, and he has like a contingency plan. He pretty much has a defense buff, and if he has a high defense, he'll do a relatively strong AoE hit that should do a decent amount of damage and things of that nature. But I think that they don't take a slot, and that's what I was saying about them being meta. They don't take a slot in the 5. They can possibly take a slot in the 10 and 15, but it's just not enough to really invest into at the moment. That's just my opinion. So yeah, if you like this video, make sure you hit the like, comment, and subscribe button. We lost a lot of subscribers recently, so hopefully we can gain that back. And yeah, just remember that every day at the Kashino is your lucky day, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.